From its heart-pounding monster scenes to its sharp social commentary, Bong Joon-ho's 2006 film, The Host, is far more than just a creature feature. In fact, it's a great representation of filmmaking that showcases Bong's masterful ability to blend different genres while evoking deep emotional responses and making powerful statements about society. He is seemingly one of the only filmmakers working today that is as good at doing that, and yet after watching The Host for the first time, you really start to see just how much it takes to get your name out there as a kind of filmmaker that really resonates with people. In this video, we will dive into how The Host proves that Bong Joon-ho is that true filmmaking genius who knows how to craft a story that resonates long after the credits start rolling. To everyone watching, where does The Host rank among Bong Joon-ho's filmography for you? Is it one of your favorites, or is it, say, at the bottom of the list, even if maybe you liked it or didn't like it, given how much you love the rest of his films? Let me know down below in the comments as we run through this video. Korean and Asian cinema in general has recently touched me in a way where I've now found a new world to explore with such great talent and entertainment on display. A lot of this has come about within the last 10 years since I've started to get more into the world of film. Such films and shows include examples like All of Us Are Dead, Squid Game, Kingdom, Train to Busan, Oldboy, Godzilla -1, 13 Assassins, Snowpiercer, Parasite, and now with The Host, as several examples to name off what I've seen. I've watched several other films and television shows that explore Asian stories, but these examples I just named were more done by actual Asian productions with a mix of international cooperation as well. When it comes to general filmmakers in this area of cinema, Bong Joon-ho has stapled his name within the cultural zeitgeist we are living in right now. Given that he has a new movie coming out with Mickey 17, I thought that I'd take a look for one of his other films that I haven't seen yet to prepare. Korean cinema is certainly an area of film that I think in the day and age we are living in now is not for everyone, depending on if you are someone who is arrogantly refusing to watch them because of subtitles or other various reasons because the films thematically don't quite make sense to those people. The Host is certainly a film that I think would not work for everyone, but for someone like me who is able to be fascinated by all different kinds of storytelling, The Host is just another walk in the park for a filmmaker like Bong Joon-ho to really showcase who he is as a filmmaker. At first, when the movie started, I didn't know what to make of it given how chaotic and wacky it was presenting the story to me. But over time, as the film kept going, I started to realize what it was that Bong Joon-ho was trying to say here. Like all his other films, for the most part, he has something to say with his movies amplifying message or some aspect of social commentary that he presents through the story. The Host, as I said at the beginning, is not just a creature feature film, even if, say, some casual filmgoer coming into this movie for the first time had assumed that it was. A great recent example of this is from a film that I just saw for the first time in the last several months that was on the list that I just mentioned, which is Godzilla -1. That movie is so fucking good, and it's not because it's a monster movie featuring Godzilla. It's because it has an actual story with characters you care about that makes all the Godzilla and monster stuff feel more secondary. -1, for that reason alone, has now almost cracked into my top 5 films of all time, if not already. The Host does something very similar, as the creature stuff, for the most part, comes secondary, while the family drama that it actually follows along with the social commentary comes first. After this monster comes out of nowhere to wreak havoc on the population of this city in Korea, the daughter of our main character, played by Song Kang-ho, gets captured by it, and what ensues after that is the family of this kid trying to track her down to rescue her. So in essence, that's a simple story on its face, but as I said, the film is much more than that. It's Bong Joon-ho taking a monster movie concept and turning it into him depicting what the real-life virus is. It's not the monster, but it is the actual human beings and the governments that created it. Bong Joon-ho absolutely does not shy away from making a commentary on how disgusting and filthy human beings are, but also make a point about how governments themselves are just as hazardous with how they use chemicals to destroy the environment and the world it surrounds itself in. He paints the picture of how governments do the things they do, and it's certainly in a way that is something that could come off like the film wants to lecture the audience about how bad things have gotten because human beings and the environment have been treated treated poorly by the usage of chemicals and other substances. The monster in the film is the result of chemical dumping by a military facility at the opening of the movie, highlighting how environmental negligence, often driven by corporate and governmental interests, can have devastating consequences. It's a critique of the exploitation of nature and the lack of accountability for those responsible. In that very same process, the government and corporate interests, by not taking accountability, put the blame on the very people that they take in order to test them for the issues that they caused by the dumping of those chemicals. 9 times out of 10 in films like this, it is normally not our main character's fault for why a virus spreads, and it's the result of a governmental body or corporate body. Bong Joon-ho wastes no time making that apparent to the viewer, and yet as we get towards the end of the film, in the final climax, he just lets it all out for the viewer to truly understand what he's trying to get across, with the addition of how the government feels like it is necessary to deal with the monster by just adding on more chemicals to defeat it. It's a fictional toxic chemical called Agent Yellow that is meant to symbolize the usage of Agent Orange by the US government during the Vietnam War to fight off the Viet Cong. Back home, many people in America protested against these kinds of things, and again, Bong Joon-ho paints that picture quite well as we see a protest going against the government for the usage of it. Bong Joon-ho essentially started the film by not making it about the social commentary and only amplified it as the runtime kept going. It's a very strong build-up as he keeps sprinkling in those details for you to understand. He throws in several scenes every now and then to kind of hint at it as well, which is just very smart filmmaking. He does the very same thing with his other form of social commentary that the film outlines, which is just a simple thing, as it also commentates on just how disgusting human beings actually are. This is why Bong Joon-ho is liked by people as a filmmaker nowadays, because he is someone that treats the job of being a director as if he was an actual artist painting a portrait. He's not just some random director who will take a job for the money and half-ass his production. When you look at 2 of his more recent films, like Parasite or Snowpiercer, you can see that he brings out certain stylistic choices to amplify the messages and the story. In The Host, you can clearly tell that there is a choice made around the production design and the color grading and the film texture to give you this really disgusting, dreary, and desaturated look at times. That is very emblematic of the characters and the people that this story is portraying, and again, I just love that Bong Joon-ho adds in subtle hints and references to that. Our main character, Gang-do, is a filthy-ass guy. His dad at one point references that he barely bathes. At one point, while his whole family is in a hospital, he starts touching himself on his ass disgustingly. In the scene where he and his family are mourning his daughter's supposed death, he starts touching his dick. And yet, the funniest thing about all this in the movie is that at one point, while he's being treated by the government after they captured him, they come to find that apparently he has no viruses and is not sick after doing all that stuff that he did to himself, as well as the fact that he got the monster's blood on his face at one point while he was fighting it. Other references to this kind of thing are when people start throwing food at the monster while it is in the river to showcase the littering, or in one very small scene at a crosswalk where a very sick man starts coughing up a storm, removes his mask, honks a loogie into the water on the street, and then a car comes by and sprays all the other pedestrians around him with that water that he just spit into. This is a very clear commentary on the fact that Bong Joon-ho, simply put, just thinks that human beings are fucking disgusting and all in their own ways are the virus that affects everything else in life. He's not just saying that the government stinks when it comes to this stuff, but he's saying that human beings do as well. Most characters in this movie that he's making a commentary out of have some form of negligence to them, except for the main kid, who is the daughter of Gang-do. She is really good for a kid actor, by the way, in this film, and I have to give credit where it is due to this actress. Her character, after being abducted by the monster, represents how innocent people become unintended casualties in a system that is more concerned with power, control, and external interests that when protecting its own citizens, or in the case of the film's allegory, the citizens of other countries like Vietnam. Many kids with the usage of Agent Orange during that war were either killed by the US government or deformed and changed with their bodies after the chemicals negatively affected them. It's just good storytelling that Bong Joon-ho was able to craft, and I do really love where his head was at when he thought about the ideas of making this movie. He truly does have a lot of views on how the world treats human beings with regards to the corruption of so many different things, and it's what shows that It is a big reason why so many people love him as the genius filmmaker that he presents himself to be nowadays. And to be clear, that's not to say that his other films don't show his genius, because they do, but now that I've watched a movie like The Host for the first time, it only amplifies why he has that genius to him that I and so many other people love. And there you have it. That is my small commentary and analysis of The Host by Bong Joon-ho. What do you all think of the film and my commentary of it? Leave your comments down below and let's have a nice and respectful conversation about it. I can't ask enough that you be respectful, as I do read all my comments to the best of my ability. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you want to see more moving forward from me with regards to film and television, and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new here, and turn on that notification bell. I'm trying to build a community on here, and your support would be appreciated. That's a wrap, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for the next video.